Imagine slicing a massive water highway through the middle of Central America. A bold, breathtaking plan to rival the mighty Panama Canal. That's the dream Nicaragua has been chasing since the days when pirates still wore eye patches unironically. The idea of an interoceanic canal through Nicaragua stretches all the way back to Spanish colonial explorers who first recognized the region's potential. In the 19th century, when the US was scouting for a shortcut between the oceans, Nicaragua was high on the list. Yet somehow Panama ended up with the winning ticket, and in 1914 the Panama Canal opened for business, leaving Nicaragua to stew in its missed opportunity and a lot of what could have been conversations. Past failures and fresh hopes. Despite being passed over, Nicaragua refused to let the idea die quietly. Several plans popped up over the years, usually with grand announcements followed by even grander collapses. Fast forward to 2013, a flashy $50 billion proposal emerged, championed by Chinese billionaire Wang Jing through the Hong Kong-Nicaragua Canal Development Group. This massive undertaking would have stretched 278 kilometers, crossing Central America's largest lake, Lake Nicaragua, using a combination of deepened rivers, man-made channels, and locks. The goal? Build a canal deeper and wider than Panama's to host colossal ships. Sadly, reality caught up fast. Financial issues, environmental protests, and furious locals brought the project to a grinding halt. By 2024, the concession was officially canceled. But wait, Nicaragua wasn't done yet. Fueled by resilience and maybe a bit of stubborn optimism, the government refused to bury the dream. Instead, they set their sights on an even bigger, bolder plan to carve a new future. Ortega's big comeback plan. Refusing to give up the ghost, President Daniel Ortega reintroduced a shiny, revamped plan. In November 2024, he unveiled a new vision, a 445-kilometer-long canal dwarfing Panama's waterway by more than 5 times. The updated route smartly avoids Lake Nicaragua, sidestepping a major environmental headache from earlier plans. The fresh canal blueprint begins at Bluefields on the Caribbean coast, passes through Lake Colchibolca, and exits at Puerto Corinto on the Pacific side. Its width would range between 290 to 540 meters, and the depth would reach 27 meters, perfect for super tankers and mega container ships. Ortega and his team estimate this engineering marvel will cost about $64.5 billion, but they're offering generous tax breaks and legal protections to lure foreign investors. A bold strategy if it works. The economic jackpot. Nicaragua is pitching the canal as an economic game changer. Imagine hundreds of thousands of new jobs, gleaming infrastructure projects springing up overnight, and the country's GDP growing by 9 to 10% annually. Not bad for a country that could really use a financial boost. However, let's not pop the champagne yet. Finding investors willing to pour tens of billions into a project with a history of fizzling out is no easy task. The collapse of the HKND project was a brutal lesson. Relying on a single billionaire is about as risky as betting your life savings on a 3-legged horse. This time, Nicaragua hopes to attract a global mix of backers, from China and Russia to oil-rich Middle Eastern nations. Still, financial experts are raising their eyebrows skeptically, warning that the project's profitability remains cloudy at best. Global politics. If Nicaragua's canal sees the light of day, it could rattle the entire chessboard of international trade and politics. The US, long the unofficial guardian of Panama's canal, is eyeing Chinese involvement in Nicaragua with more than a little suspicion. A Chinese-backed canal could diminish US influence in Central America and hand Beijing a shiny new piece of global shipping control. Meanwhile, Panama isn't sitting idle. They've been busy expanding their own canal infrastructure to accommodate larger vessels, hoping to make any alternative routes less tempting. At the heart of the matter, is there enough demand for 2 giant canals within spitting distance of each other? Some experts think not, and that could be a $65 billion miscalculation. Environmentalists versus excavators. Building a colossal canal isn't exactly a gentle kiss to Mother Nature. Environmental activists are sounding alarms, warning that the new route could devastate Nicaragua's delicate ecosystems. Deforestation, habitat destruction, pollution. It's a full house of ecological nightmares. Particularly concerning is Lake Xolotl, already struggling with pollution. Further disruption could turn it into a sad puddle of what it once was. Indigenous communities are also on the warpath. Past canal plans bulldozed ahead without proper consultation. After a stern reprimand from the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, Nicaragua will have to handle local populations with much more care this time around, or face fiery resistance. Nature's wrath. In case environmentalists weren't enough to worry about, Nicaragua itself has a wicked sense of humor. The country is prone to earthquakes, hurricanes, and volcanic eruptions. Building a massive, stable canal through such a geological minefield is like playing Jenga during an earthquake. To top it off, Nicaragua doesn't have natural reservoirs to supply water to a lock-based canal system. Unlike Panama's Gatun and Alajuela lakes, Nicaragua would need to construct artificial lakes and reservoirs at enormous cost and with serious sustainability concerns. Throw in unpredictable weather patterns, and suddenly this dream canal looks less like a marvel of engineering and more like a disaster movie waiting to happen. Panama Canal versus Nicaragua Canal. Now, let's talk about the inevitable comparison. Nicaragua's fresh-out-the-box canal plan versus Panama's seasoned veteran. Nicaragua's version promises impressive specs, wider, up to 540 meters, and deeper, 27 meters, than Panama's post-2016 expanded canal, which maxes out at a width of 55 meters and depth of 18.3 meters. In theory, Nicaragua could welcome the true behemoths of the shipping world, those massive tankers that have to awkwardly sail around South America because they're too chunky for Panama. Water scarcity, however, is Panama's Achilles heel. Recent droughts have severely limited daily ship transits. Nicaragua could solve that problem if it can get its own water issues under control first. It's the classic case of out of the frying pan into the slightly different frying pan. Arctic routes and railroads. While Nicaragua and Panama are arm wrestling over canal supremacy, a new contender is quietly entering the scene: the Arctic. Thanks to climate change, northern sea routes are becoming more navigable, offering faster shipping paths between Asia and Europe. Transcontinental railways across Asia and even potential rail corridors through North America are also threatening to siphon traffic away from traditional shipping lanes. If Nicaragua's canal doesn't offer significantly cheaper fees, quicker travel times, or other irresistible advantages, shipping companies might simply shrug and stick with the routes they already know, or head north. Polar bears be darned. Will Nicaragua's canal ever set sail? So after all the drama, plotting, and dreaming, what's the verdict? Nicaragua's canal is a dazzlingly ambitious idea with real potential, but also a mountainous heap of obstacles. Financial uncertainty, environmental risks, engineering headaches, political tensions, and competition from emerging trade routes all stand in the way. Plus, the world is changing fast, and what seemed necessary a decade ago might be obsolete in another 5 years. For Nicaragua to pull this off, it needs not just deep pockets, but rock-solid engineering, environmental wisdom, political finesse, and a good dash of luck. And even then, it will need to convince the global shipping industry that it's worth the detour. In short, while we applaud Nicaragua's determination, this dream might remain exactly that: a dream shimmering tantalizingly on the horizon, but always just out of reach. But hey, crazier things have happened. After all, once upon a time, they said putting a man on the moon was impossible too. Thanks for joining me on this epic journey through Nicaragua's canal dreams. If you found this adventure as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing stories from around the world. See you in the next video.